Hello, and welcome back to the Spoilercast, the show where we talk about movies and we don't care about spoiling them. We also analyze, review, critique, and, not just spoil movies. We do all the good stuff that you want to hear, about a movie. My name is Tobias, and with me as always is my sister and trusted co-host, Rebecca.
Hello.
Hello. And today we're talking about a new movie. It feels like we haven't talked about new movies for a while.
We did, not last week, but the week before that.
Yeah, I guess. But we haven't been a lot of new movies this year so far.
Not yet, no.
Not yet. But we are talking about one today, a highly anticipated one, at least for me. Yes. A hotly debated one on the internet, on Twitter. Ooh, the hotbed of the civilization.
Yes.
We're talking about, you guessed it, Alex Garland's Civil War. Ooh, yes. Unlike most people, we really liked his last movie, Men, right?
Yes.
You liked it, yeah?
Yeah. We haven't done an episode on it.
No,
yes,
we never
made.
We made like a min review of it back in the day.
Yeah, it was weird, but I liked it.
I liked it too.
It wasn't bad.
No, I thought people had a very shallow interpretation of it. I don't want to say media literacy, but come on, people. That's a new thing people would like to throw around. Oh, you're not media literate. That's why you don't understand the movie. Okay. We'll get to that later in this discussion, actually. But I guess in general we're fans, especially of his written and directed movies, Ex Machina, Annihilation, Men, and now this.
I haven't actually seen Annihilation. So
you haven't?
Oh
my god, you need to watch it.
I know. I think I started it and then just didn't. I don't remember why, but I didn't finish it.
It's incredible. Anyway.
Sure.
But yeah, he was,
oh right, he did Devs as well.
We talked briefly about Devs.
That one.
I like Devs except for the ending.
I didn't finish it though.
No, okay.
Not yet.
And he's been very celebrated as a writer. Of course, he wrote one of the greatest zombie movies of all time, 28 Days Later. And some other things I can't recollect right now.
Lots of Devil May Cry.
Really?
Yeah.
The video games?
Yeah.
He wrote them?
Are
you sure?
He's credited as writer on DMC Devil May Cry from 2013.
Okay, that's a remake.
Bloody Palace Mode from 2013.
Yeah,
Virgil's Downfall 2013. Definitive Edition 2015.
So that's all the remake stuff that nobody liked. That's not good.
Oh, shit.
Anyway.
He wrote Dread, that we did like.
Exactly, he wrote Dread, one of the best movies of all time.
Yeah.
But he has
been a novel?
Yeah, he is a writer. He's not a screenwriter. He's a writer, an author. From the beginning, he wrote Beach, or The Beach, which became a movie by Danny Boyle. That's why he wrote 28 Days Later for him, I think. Either way. So he's been very celebrated since the beginning of his career, really. Yeah. Until Men, sort of. And I know there were some people, before that even, when it came to devs and stuff, like, but yeah, people didn't seem to like Men, for reasons we won't go into here, because it's a whole other discussion.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned it as well somewhere.
And then with this movie, then, people were like, kind of like we talked about Edgar Wright last week. People are like now wary, like, oh, he's gonna fuck up again. Like, oh, I see. Like, whatever you say, the emperor is naked. Kind of. Yeah. So people were looking forward to this, and even before, I guess, because of the subject matter, already like ready to just shoot it down. No pun intended. But yeah, I came at it, I guess, them being biased and me being biased as well, but from the other side, like, I was looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Mostly because the trailer was amazing. I thought it was a great trailer.
Oh, yes. I think it's brave to make a movie on that subject matter at the time.
Yeah. And then the fact that, he's a really good writer and director, and this one he wrote and directed.
And it's a bit of a different subject than he usually touches upon, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Or it's from a different angle, at least.
Yeah. So it was with that in mind that we sat down to watch this in IMAX, which this should be experienced on IMAX.
Yeah, the big screen really helped.
It is a smaller movie, so to speak.
Yeah.
But there are sequences that are just so big and like
bombastic.
Yeah, even action packed, and it's clearly made for IMAX.
Oh yeah,
like everything. Even though it's a smaller movie with just people mostly sitting in cars and stuff, it's very the cinematography is very big. It's very open. Yes. Lots of background in the pictures.
Yes.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite things about the movie. The cinematography was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're going to do this the right way.
Yes, and I'm going to start it this time.
Okay, you're going to ask me.
Yes.
Okay.
What did you think of it?
Well, I kind of ruined it. I was going to do a joke
like,
I didn't like it at all. I thought it was politically... No. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. Not sure what I've seen this year. Best movie I've seen this year. I mean, from 2024.
Sure.
My movie of the year so far. I like...
Oh, yeah, most likely.
Yeah, we haven't seen any real bangers this year, except for The First Omen, I suppose. But that was not on the same level.
I mean, we saw Dune Part 2, though.
Yeah, no.
Not the same level, but it's good.
More of a spectacle, but really, really good. Yes, yes.
We count Monster as this year, though.
Monster? Oh,
yeah.
Right. No, I think this was better than Monster. If I guess we counted it as 2024 because of releases.
Yes.
This is better than Monster for me.
It's more of a movie of the year, yes.
Your weird criteria.
Yeah.
Either way. Withstanding, yeah. No, I liked everything about it. There was nothing I didn't like about it. Not that I didn't like it, but there's one thing that I found that I couldn't really gauge right away, and I found a little weird. Mm-hmm. It's spoilers, I suppose. The ending. But I guess we'll talk about that when we get into the actual spoilers. But now I'm going to ask you, what did you think of Civil War?
I thought it was great. I thought it was... This is going to sound... It feels weird to say that it was a great movie, because it's very grim.
Very, very grim, yes.
It's very dark. It's very horrible in the subject matter.
Mm-hmm. But
I thought it was fantastic, both in the way it's made and also the subject matter.
Yes.
It's like I said, feels kind of brave to make a movie of that, about that, the way he did.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying, like, oh, he's such a, I don't know.
No, I know what you mean. And that was a lot of the discourse, like, oh, do you really want to make a movie about a new American Civil War in a voting year or election year, whatever it's called?
Yeah.
Because they're electing a new president or re-electing an old president. I don't know. And I'm like, I briefly discussed this with some people who saw it and said that it was kind of a poor choice to release it this year. And I'm like, that doesn't matter. Subject matter like this, if you released it the year before, they would say, no, it's too close to an election year. Yeah. Like, there's never a good time or a bad time. I'm not saying it's like a bad thing to release this, but there's never a good time to release a movie like this. If you release it, because I mean, there's an election every 4 years. So if you release this 3 years from now, they're going to say, oh, it's too close to an election year. Like,
exactly.
It's always, like, for the last, 15 years, America it's always been a political hotbed, but because of social media, it's bigger now. A political hotbed. It's never going to be a good time to release a movie about an American Civil War.
No.
So it's better to just release it.
Yeah. No,
and
I
also,
think it came at a good time.
Art, so...
that too. But I also think it's a good time to release it now, considering what happened the last time one of the runners was president.
Yeah.
It's a nice little commentary without being like too on the nose or too dramatic about it.
Yeah.
Even though I have no idea if his plan or thought about this is to be
no. What he has said,
out.
He has no explicit political agenda with releasing the movie.
No.
It's not I'm not quoting him here, but it's not a political movie.
No.
And I want to get into that because a lot of people have said that a thing they don't like about it is that it is apolitical. They're like, oh, it's not taking a stance. And some people are saying, like, oh, it's not apolitical at all. It's very political. And here, I guess it's pretty early on in the episode, but that's where I want to bring up media literacy. Like, this is not a political movie. This is a war movie.
Yeah.
And more specifically than, like most war movies, an anti-war movie.
Yeah.
Because in the movie, we know that we have, the Western, was it the Western Front?
Western Forces?
Western Forces, sorry. Western
WF.
Forces.
I don't know.
The Western Forces are secessionists from the United States. It's Texas and California, which is very funny that they would team up.
Yes.
Because of, political beliefs and everything. One being very blue, one being very red. That is deliberate, probably.
Yes.
Just to make it politically muddled.
Yeah.
And then they also, which was never mentioned by anyone or in the trailers or anything, the Florida, what was it called? I actually saw it, someone had put up a map of it.
Really?
Yes. Let's see if I can find it. Because Florida was also like a secessionist state.
Yeah.
Now I can't find it. Oh, whatever. But it was called something. The Florida Contingency or something like that. I don't remember. But anyway, so those three then fight against the against the United States.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I don't even know where I was going with it, to be honest. Oh, here we go.
I found something on Reddit.
It's Oh, so it's, I don't know what this website is, but the freerepublic.com. It's the Republic of California and the Second Republic of Texas. So they have completely seceded from America. Then you have the Florida Alliance and the Western Forces, which is up in the top of America.
Up towards Canada.
Yes, and toward the west. So it cuts off around Illinois, I think, where Chicago is. I'm not big on
the middles, the squares in the middle,
Yeah, no, those are the loyalist states.
Okay, yeah.
And then some towards like I think Nevada is next to California. I don't know American, and there's no names here, but the Western Forces are the upper west part of America, and then the Florida Alliance, of course, down towards the mid and east, and then in the heartland, which is called in the middle, that's the loyalist states. So that's United States of America.
Yeah.
They include Alaska and Hawaii here as loyalist states, I suppose.
Yes.
Either way. Yeah. So that's and they are fighting. We don't know over what, obviously, like
really?
Political differences, obviously.
Sure.
Like something's
but
happened.
We don't know what was the catalyst or like anything.
Well,
really.
Obviously California and Texas seceding from the Union would be it.
Yeah, but
then
why
would
did they do
escalate
that?
into war? Yeah, and why they would? Yeah, exactly. But the way the movie is portrayed, that is not important, because almost in every scene where there is a battle or the war is seen, where they're fighting, you don't know which side is which. Like there's no clear, like at first you think, oh, the guys in like civilian clothes are just wearing like bullet vests. They must be the Western Front.
Yeah.
But then we see some people in military fatigues who also seem to be fighting for the Western Front.
The new flag with 2 stars only, which I'm guessing is the Texas
the two republics,
California. Yeah.
And there's even a scene where one of the journalists asks, it's the scene from the trailer, the guy with the sniper. It was like, "Are you fighting for the Western Front?" It's like, "We're just fighting. There's a guy over there. We got to kill him."
He's shooting at us. We're shooting at him.
Yeah.
We don't care who it is. Exactly.
And that is why I would say that this is apolitical, except for the ending. But we'll get to that. It's not about picking a side. It's not saying like, this is right wing, propaganda, or this is left wing propaganda, because we see this from an outsider perspective. We see this from journalists' perspective.
Yeah.
And
we don't get to know what their loyalties lie either, really, because all they say is that we want to get to the president because we want to have the money shot.
Yeah.
That's it. They don't care who shoots him, if he gets shot or not. They just want to have, like, the one quote from him.
Yeah. Now, if you want to once again involve geography, but we got to remember also, this is written and directed by an Englishman. So
Yes.
they do travel.
American.
No, exactly. They do travel through the loyalist states. So all the weirdos with guns we see are loyalists to the president.
Sure.
Just saying. Hey, I don't need no. Yeah, we do know that because they're like in their territories. Like, when they stop at the gas station,
The gas
like,
station
that's
and that,
their
yeah.
gas station, and so they're part of the loyalists. But still, that doesn't like that. That's not the point. And then once again, going back to the fact that California and Texas joined forces.
Different.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just because they're loyalist, we don't know what party this president represents.
Yeah. He does wear a red tie.
Sure.
But
I don't know if that makes a difference.
Yeah, he never. I mean, we literally see him twice in the movie, and we hear him sometimes on the radio, but he never mentions what side of the political spectrum he's on or anything, because that's not the point. The point of this movie is, and I guess you could call that like a tired premise. It is the horrors of war, because that's what this is about.
Trying to bring it even closer to you, so you can actually understand the horrors of it.
Yeah.
Because it's so, seeing it in other countries and seeing it in like history stuff, and yeah, sure, but it's very distant when you see it in another continent.
Yeah.
If you're seeing it on the streets of New York, might be different.
Yeah, and that
might hit a bit harder, you know?
Yeah, which is kind of sad that it's gonna take something drastic like that to war actually getting here, even if it's in a movie, for people to like perk up, like, oh shit. But yeah, that's how it is. I mean, we got to experience that on a very, very small scale like a year ago, when the threat was kind of real that Russia would go into Sweden.
Yeah.
And they were like not just like, oh, you know, talk about, no, they were like issuing like warnings, like, get water, get food, this might actually happen. And I was like, whoa. And that was nothing ever happened.
But no,
just,
I think they just like,
that was like, ooh, shit, it's actually real?
They're like, they're closed now, and they've done illegal flights over Swedish airspace.
Yeah.
That was enough.
Fortunately,
Yep.
They never actually entered the Nordic countries. They didn't even go into Finland, thankfully.
No.
But still, like, the threat was there.
Yes.
And just that, it was enough to be like it was scary for a little while.
Well, yeah.
So, yeah, that's obviously why he set it in America. It could be any war, any time, but he chose to set it in America now because it's a wake-up call. And I mean, it's the biggest, it's the biggest, yeah.
Because even if it's effective mainly, obviously, to Americans, but it also, because of social media and how much we all live vicariously through each other, it hits hard for anyone in a Western country, really. Because shit, if it could happen in America, it could happen anywhere.
Yeah. So that's what it's trying to do. Other than that, it's a pretty standard war movie.
Yeah.
But a well-made one. I mean, I would say...
Oh, yes, because we need to get into how he decided to showcase all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, then, through photography.
Yeah, choosing to show this, not from the soldiers, but from journalists.
Yes. So every shot, not only the photos we get to see them actually take...
Yeah.
But a lot of the shots surrounding them, or just being of the photographers, have the same quality.
Yeah, like I said, the cinematography is great.
It's fantastic, and it's raw in a way.
Yeah.
Without being like cheap or flimsy looking.
Yeah. Yeah, it never goes into like it never tries to glorify the violence. There's never shaky cam running through the battlefield like whoa. It's usually very static. Very very like realistic fighting. Like if you've seen videos from actual wars, that's kind of what it looks like. There's a lot of people hunkering down, firing behind walls against each other until someone gets hit and then they stop, basically. And that's what a lot of this is. A lot of it isn't even a war, because a lot of it is just, like wars have fronts, and that's where things happen. In the middle, very little actually happens. I mean, they even, at one point, they enter this town where there's no war. Everyone's just going about their business.
Yeah, she said, we just try to stay out of it.
Yeah. But then, we see that it's kind of been taken over by, I'm guessing, loyalists. Like, they kind of run the town now. Yeah, I don't know.
But they're allowing people to just go about their day because, well, as long as they don't fight back, we don't care.
Exactly.
I guess they obviously allow them to keep it safe or something, but that's about it.
Yeah. It's what, I'm sorry for bringing it up, it's what they in Helldivers call a managed democracy. Anyway.
Yes, you need to mention then your new obsession.
Yes, I need to mention, yes. Like everyone else, I'm now playing Helldivers 2. Very good game, you should check it out. Anyway, sorry about that. Where were we? The cinematography, yes.
I made a comparison in my head, but now I've completely forgotten it.
I made a comparison in my head about the effectiveness of putting war movies, like, in your neighborhood, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of it, but in the Swedish movie Den blomstertid kommer, or The Unthinkable, we have the beginning of the attacks, so to speak, are in the capital, Stockholm.
Yeah, with the
bridges being exploded and the parliament being attacked. Yeah,
Parliament,
Rosenbad getting attacked. And it's like something, I mean, we've never had war. Well, no, we have. But, I mean, that's hundreds and hundreds of years ago. We never had war in Sweden in modern times.
No.
I think it's been 400 years since we have had war in Sweden.
We didn't have the same kinds of weapons.
No. So to see those pictures back in that movie, it wasn't controversial then, I guess, because we're not that political about it.
No.
But to see stuff like that happening in Stockholm, like, hey, I've stood on that bridge where that car now flipped from an explosion. It's very effective. So now to see that on a much bigger scale in America, it must have been terrifying. And I mean, even for me, it was terrifying at times.
Yes,
there were moments in this. Oh, sorry.
No, because I loved how raw he made it.
Yeah,
that everything was. It was just how it is. Like you said, there's no glorifying. There's no hiding the gore. It's unfortunately right there in your face.
Yeah.
Which I guess we're kind of Jesse in this situation.
Yeah.
Jesse is the audience representation.
It's the youngest photographer you see in the trailers. Yeah. Who kind of joins the rest of the
being not used to the war.
Yeah, exactly.
Any kind of war.
Yeah.
Even though, I don't know if that's a spoiler. Towards the end, the roles kind of shift a little. Who gets
that's to show how she's numbed by that point.
Yeah, I guess.
A little
and
bit.
that even the ones who are numbed or thought they were numbed, eventually it breaks them down as well.
Yeah, because that's also something that is not at all brought up in the trailers or anything. It comments on PTSD.
Yeah.
Or just in general, PTSD, post-traumatic stress. Because Kirsten Dunst, who is supposed to be this what do you call it? Seasoned war photographer.
Yeah.
She started out in college during the Antifa massacre, which is like that. I feel is like to kind of say which year this is without saying which year it is, because I'm guessing when you think Antifa, you think 2020, right?
Yeah,
there wasn't a massacre.
But I'm not sure there was a massacre.
No, there wasn't. No, obviously they're not going to massacre anyone. But so this is. I would say this. They never say it as an important, but it feels like this takes place like 15 years into the future.
Yeah, probably
something like that. Because it doesn't look futuristic, but they mention things, like the Antifa massacre that never happened.
Yeah.
And she was in college then, and now she's like in her 40s. So, yeah. 10, 15 years ago. like I said, doesn't matter. But yeah, so she's been photographing wars. That's not how you say it. Photographing wars. Like she had a long career. And we see now that it's starting to take its toll on her.
Yeah.
Because at first she's kind of numb to it, but as soon as this Jessie character gets involved, she's like, no, she shouldn't be. Like this is not good.
Yeah.
But she allows her to follow along or tag along anyway.
Well, she's at the same time she realizes that if she's gonna get into this, at least let me show her how to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
How to be safe about it, I guess, mainly.
And it's also early on in those scenes where I think, if you ever had any, I just thought of it now. If you ever had any doubts if this is a political or apolitical pro or anti-war movie, there's a wonderful quote from Lee, Kirsten Dunst's character.
Yeah.
When they're sitting on the couch at night, they're just going to sleep in the car because they're on the way from New York to Washington D.C. They want to interview the president,
and they need to take a bit of a detour.
Yeah, because the highways are all shut down.
Yeah.
And everything. Yeah.
I mean, the first highway we see have a flashing sign going "Miles ahead."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're sitting on the couch. There's a couch in the middle of nowhere. Her and what's the guy who's in a bunch of Alex Garland movies? He was in Devs, the big black guy, the big fat guy. Sammy. What's the actor's name? Stephen McKinley Henderson, right?
Yes.
Who he's part of the mainstream media, which they kind of they mentioned in passing that he's part of the what is it, the slowly dying New York Times, which is kind of funny.
Yes.
Anyway, she sits there and they're talking about it, and she mentions, once again paraphrasing, but she says, like, all those wars I covered, I was taking pictures hoping I was sending a warning back home.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it didn't work.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about. Like,
yeah.
War is hell. Like, you don't want war. War is the absolute last way out of a conflict, of a situation, of a discussion, whatever. And still, in this universe, because of, like, political squabbles or differing ideologies, it went so far as to, they started a civil war, sort of fighting within themselves. Like, it went that far, which, it shouldn't have to happen, but it did. That's what this is all about. He says it's so plain right there in that sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which so if anyone is questioning the motives of this movie, that's it.
I'm trying to think of because I made a comparison in my head. It's like this movie did what that movie tried to do, but I can't remember what that movie is supposed to be, and it's bothering me.
Do you have any details about the movie?
No.
Anything?
No, I can't remember shit. I guess it had to do with war. Oh right, no, I just got it. The Purge.
The Purge?
The Purge is also a little bit of a commentary on, like, what would happen if we allow people to just do whatever the fuck they want, if we don't have any government, if we try to solve things that in with violence and stuff. The first one, at least.
Yeah, I was going to say, because they do expand the point of those movies in the second and third movie.
But the first one, at least.
Yeah.
But then they put too much of a too much spectacle on it.
Yeah.
So people never saw it as a commentary on anything, really. They just saw, it's a scary movie. Hey, they kill people.
I failed to see the comparison, though. I don't know what you're getting at.
Civil War is actually showing us what would happen if we allowed it to go that far, no matter not allowing murder, making that legal for a day, but, like, having the crisis come to that point where we're starting to kill each other.
Okay.
In my head, it made sense.
Far-fetched, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
It was a fleeting thought, and then I lost it, but now I found it. I just had to mention it.
Okay. Yeah, because later we find out that the new, whatever it's called, the new government of America, whatever, which instated the Purge Day.
Yeah.
Turns out it's just a way for them to like kill minorities and low income families.
Yeah. So it breaks there, but yes.
Yeah, but I see what you mean. Yeah.
Thank you.
I just want to say we are actually we're 30 minutes into this now.
Oh, perfect.
So yeah, if we want to start talking spoilers, yeah. From here on out,
warning.
From here on out, spoilers. If you want to turn off here, great movie.
Yes, watch it.
We both
please.
loved it. Go and watch it. Watch it on the biggest screen possible. I'm gonna say it. Hot take. Like most realistic, I don't want to say realistic. Most affecting, gunshot scenes since, or most loud and most affecting gunshots in a movie since Heat. That's like the standard still, the way they shot the shootouts in that movie.
Yeah.
This is worse. God damn, those guns are loud. I mean, because I saw they fired real full blanks, which is literally gunshots without the bullet.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, it is loud as all hell.
Mm-hmm. And you could tell.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so that's it. I mean, dare I say 5 out of 5?
I think so, actually.
Yeah, I think so.
Because this is spoilers, but still, the music as well.
Yeah.
My God, all the sound editing in general, just perfection.
Yeah.
How the silence and the loudness, and then also the music specifically built into that.
Yeah.
When we're watching through a camera lens, or we're watching the photographers, how it shifted and how it faded when it came to the quiet moments of like that scene where they meet the guys who are just shooting at the guy who's shooting them.
Mm-hmm.
When Kirsten Dunst lies down in the grass and just observes the flowers instead.
Yeah, they both realize like it's kind of nice just lie down on the grass.
Yeah, and the sound kind of went meh. It just went so
you
serene.
heard the wind. Yeah.
But then you cut back to what was his name? Joel. And it was chaos.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Very
so
effective.
From here on out, though, spoilers.
Yes, spoilers. We're
going to talk specifics. Spoilers.
I mean, I have the biggest spoiler I want to talk about.
In the end, when they shoot the president.
Yes.
There we go. No,
which I guess isn't that much of a surprise, but
no, we'll get to that. But what you were going to say?
Yeah, but in the end, when they shoot someone else.
Oh yeah.
I just kept internally yelling, "Pick up the cameras! Pick up the cameras!"
Yeah.
Just pick them up.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah. I did eventually go, well, they took them on the way out, I guess.
Yeah.
And I was, there's some great shots in there, I promise.
Oh yeah, and we see those. And you talked about, we should have talked more about the sound, but I guess we gotta get on with it. We've done over half an hour already. Yeah, like we said, when the shootouts are incredibly loud.
Yes.
To the point where it was like when they always start with a bang. And every time I went every time, yeah. But then there was like not all the time, but not every time someone took a photo, but when there was like something important being photographed, we saw the photo.
Yes.
And maybe I imagined this, but when we actually saw the photo, everything went quiet, right?
And then we heard the
snap
click.
Back to the guns, right?
And we usually heard the click of the button or the shutter.
Shutter, yeah. Which also very effective because a photograph, sure. War photography, war journalism is very, very important because, like this any movie, that shows you what is actually happening and why we should try to avoid this at all costs.
It shows the truth also differently from what other media might tell you because they're most likely biased in some way.
Exactly. But this then also shows how even more effective video is, especially with sound.
Yes.
Because those pictures goes quiet, and it's almost like, the pictures they take, almost like it's, because pictures when they're framed right and everything, it's beautiful, no matter what the subject matter. Like when they're patching up the guy who got shot in the battle they go through.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, what a beautiful composition, basically. But then, like, oh shit, he's bleeding to death. Because then they cut back to them actually trying to, like, stuff his wound with gauze, and it's just shooting blood everywhere.
Disgusting.
Yeah, it's like, that's even more affecting. So it was also like a cool way to show, not like, at
what
all saying that pictures aren't good. Like, no, pictures are good, but this is going even further.
Yeah.
And also show what goes into taking those kind of pictures. Jesus Christ.
Because when we see the montage of Lee and all of her, like, experiences.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Mm-hmm. That, if anything, made me think, like, people actually do that. People actually walk up close to a person being executed just to get the shot.
A photo of it. Yeah.
Luckily, there's this, like you mentioned, because I had to, like, question it, the whole moral of, like, we don't shoot the press and we don't shoot the doctors, even in warfare.
There are rules of engagement, and we don't shoot civilians, especially not doctors and journalists.
Yeah. Which I find fascinating.
Yeah, that's a long conversation. We're not going to discuss that, because that's a whole other episode in its own.
Despite those rules being in place, it's obviously extremely brave to just walk up to a person being soaked in gasoline, about to be set on fire, just so you can get a good shot of it to show people that this is actually happening.
Yeah.
My God.
And especially in a conflict like that, because I'm telling you, rules of engagement don't apply in a conflict like that, because that's showing from like a civil war in like some African country.
Yeah.
No shade on
it doesn't
African countries, but you know what I mean.
It's probably not even a civil war. It's just
that wasn't government fighting. No, that was just people in the
fighting,
streets.
Basically.
Yeah, exactly. So walking up to those, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and people do that. People do that.
Yeah.
My God. If anything, this movie was, I want to say shocking, but like in a good way.
It was.
I'm not going to recommend it to some people if you're squeamish, though, because it is very...
Very graphic.
Graphic and gritty.
Not even, like, it's not super, like, gory or anything, but it is...
No, but it's some people are too sensitive for that.
Yeah. This is like a good horror movie. It's not too gory and anything, but the implications is what's scary.
Exactly. It's
this is what I mean when I talk about good horror movies.
Yeah. When you understand what actually happens, it's like, I don't know if I can take this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which we see that effect about 2 or 3 times fully on the faces of the main characters.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the first one is. Well, I guess it's the first. It's after that shot is taken when they're stuffing his wound and Jesse breaks down the first time.
Yeah.
That is like the first time it's really effective because we finally see someone react to it.
Yeah.
But then obviously after the what's the actor's name? I love him.
Jesse Plemons?
Yes, the Jesse Plemons situation. And the character Jessie throws up on herself. Joel and her is like out of their mind, just screaming while making eye contact.
Yeah,
because they don't know what they can't process anything.
Just before that, we're introduced to friends of Joel who are also journalists.
Yes.
They're kind of crazy. And there's that scene,
and Bohai.
Yeah, it's the scene from the trailer where you see Jesse like hanging between 2 cars, which I thought was like, this is some insane scene where crazy radicals are trying to kidnap her during a high-speed chase. But no, she's just climbing over there because it's fun. Because Bohai just did it? No, the other guy.
No, Tony did it.
Tony did it, yeah. So then they switch cars and then they disappear, and that's, because their car is faster. So Bohai and Jesse are in one car, Tony and Sammy and Joel
and
Lee are in the regular car. And then they come upon Bohai's now empty car. And that's when we see that Bohai and Jesse have been abducted,
I guess.
soldiers.
Yes.
I don't know how official those guys are though.
No, they're just wearing camo and brandishing guns and asking what kind of American you are.
Yeah, that's a scene from the trailer which everyone loved. But it's such a that's also so that's so I don't want to say telling, but yeah, it's very telling of the inhumanity of war.
Yes.
Like you can look at a person and that days earlier could have been your friend, but it turns out, oh, you're on that side of the conflict, well, I'm on this side. Now you're on my enemy. Yeah. So he literally, when they said, look, like, we're American journalists, we're just passing through, like, listen, we're American, please don't. And he just asked, what kind of American? Like, buddy,
because
they're
all American in this conflict, obviously, you know, kind of funny, but the thing is, though, he shoots the people who are foreign, though.
Yeah, because obviously he's also racist. So like, China, pop, pop, pop.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say. We're all American here. Yeah, no, but just saying that like the fact that they're people doesn't matter. It only matters what side of the conflict they're on. What kind of American are you? And that's also the whole thing with hitting very close to home. Like what? There are different kinds of Americans now. Yikes!
A little bit of a commentary on people.
Yeah, and I love that the foreshadowing, because when they first say we're American journalists, we're just passing through, and he first asks what kind of journalists.
Yeah.
To find out, of course, and then it turns into what kind of American, because he's just trying to find a reason to kill them, really. Because they have, we see them. They have dug a mass grave where they are. Burying in civilians. Civilians is not a word. Civilians. Yeah. So obviously they don't want any witnesses.
Yeah.
One funny thing about that, because that scene is featured pretty prominently in the trailer, obviously because it's Jesse Plemons, so it's like, ooh, we have him in the movie, but also because it is one of the more horrific scenes in the movie.
Yes.
People were like, once again, the dumb criticism of this movie. Where people are like, oh, by the way, Jesse Plemons, he's in like 5 minutes of the movie. Don't expect too much. It's like, yeah. Sorry for being elitist here, but you absolute morons. You think that character is going to be what? You thought he was like the bad guy of the movie?
Exactly.
What were you thinking? He's just a guy. Of course, he's going to be in one scene.
It's even better than
where a villain is going to chase you down. No.
And it's even better than that they got someone like Jesse Plemons to do that.
Yeah.
And do such a great performance with it.
It's kind of funny.
Because even though he has very few lines and very little to do, he is very impactful.
Oh, yeah. Spoiler word for Best Actor 2025? I don't know.
I mean, he's just a great actor in general, so.
Yeah. Yes, of course. But it's a great performance.
Fantastic. Yeah. My little.
Which is kind of funny.
I'm still kind of sick, to be honest.
Because Jesse Plemons, as it says here, Jesse Plemons joined the cast just days before his scene was supposed to be shot.
Yeah.
Due to the original actor dropping out. I wonder who the original actor was. Because obviously, I'm guessing they wanted like a big name because it's a big scene.
Or
maybe not. Because
so.
the only reason Jesse Plemons did the role was because Kirsten Dunst is, of course, married to him, and she suggested him when they lost the original actor.
Like, but he can do it. He's quick to adjust.
Exactly. He's not working right now. Whatever.
Hey, hubby, come here.
No,
join me on set for a few days.
I'm guessing then. I don't think she would suggest that they replace like an extra with Jesse Plemons. No. So I'm guessing it was like a bigger name. That would be fun to know who was supposed to play that
Honestly,
role.
I felt the same with the fact that Nick Offerman is playing the president. Yeah. He's only in like 2 scenes, but it's a fantastic casting. Yeah. And it's such a powerful presence for 2 short scenes.
Yeah. That's also
very different scenes as well, just to point that out. We have like the confident, just trying to find the right words to like, yeah. In the beginning to
he's prepping for a speech, yeah.
The last word, his final words being,
please don't let them
kill me. Right, I was about to say, please don't shoot me, but no, please don't let them kill me.
That'll do. Yeah.
Again, wonderful performance from someone
Wonderful.
just 5 minutes in the movie.
Yeah. And then, should we talk about... I want to talk because, all this political blah, 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 and I just want to talk about when they actually enter Washington, D.C.
Yeah?
God damn, that was intense. Because that's like...
Yes.
It's the final stand. Like, we find out just before that from... Did you notice who played the British reporter with the glasses, the girl?
I recognized her, yes.
She's also a an Alex Garland like mainstay.
Alumni.
Yeah, it's Sonoya Mizuno is her name, right?
Yeah.
The dancing robot from Ex Machina.
Right, that's
the main
her.
character from Devs.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. He tries to put her in every movie he makes. She's
she's
like a voice
humanoid
cameo.
and Katie in Annihilation.
Yeah. Anyway, but that's just beside the point. Yeah, they tell them like, the loyalists when the WF, the Western Front or Western forces entered DC, the loyalists just gave up. They was like, please don't shoot. So then there's just like some like diehard, soldiers and
obviously
and loyalists, and
President's personal guard.
Yeah, what are they called?
Force One? No.
Secret Service.
Yes.
Secret Service.
Some of them even. They even point out some Secret Service. They're not saying like all of them.
Yeah. They are the only ones who are really left. So now it's a final push to capture or kill the president to end the war. That's also the thing. We don't know how long this has been going on.
No.
But it feels like it's been a while.
Since people are so displaced, yes, I'm assuming it's been a while. Since people are like the first scene we get properly with any kind of like disturbance is that water scene.
Yeah.
People are, it's not like they're, in the beginning I'm assuming they would just like kind of, oh, we get water, thank you, kind of line up and be happy about it. Now they're just like, come on, give us water. And people are even suicidal over it.
Yeah.
Homicidal?
You're talking about the girl who blew herself
what does
up?
that
That's
count as?
suicidal. That's suicidal.
But she wanted to take them with her, so
yeah. She was sending a message.
Yes.
She was you know what she was? She was a terrorist.
Yes. Yeah. And people kind of knew what to expect when they heard and saw her from a distance even. So it's happened before, obviously.
Yeah, she just grabbed a flag and sort of ran right into the group.
And Lee just goes, oh shit, and pulls the kid down. Like, here we go again, literally.
Yeah. No.
So it's been going on for a while. It's not like it's been just a few months.
No, it's probably been a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, there's like full on, because a war is like usually kind of quiet except for like the small skirmishes here and there. Except for like I said, the front. That's where the battle goes on.
Yes.
And that's where they end up in the end. They're in DC. They're like outside the White House, just constant firing.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to get that interview with the president before, so now they're like, whatever, we'll just try to photograph him at least.
Yeah. Because by then, they don't even have a video camera with them. I'm not sure how Joel is gonna, is his quote just gonna be in writing?
I don't know.
How effective is that?
Yeah, you need at least audio there, but I guess he has a phone.
I suppose. Something, but he doesn't record when he finally does get it, so I don't know.
No. Yeah, but those...
By then he doesn't really care as well, I guess.
And we'll get to that just in a second, but I just want to say, those scenes are like some of the best like action scenes, or whatever you want to call it, I've seen in a while. Damn, it's very... Because it's not like cool, it's not like John Wick cool action scene, but it's like very... Very
impactful.
Effective, very impactful. Once again, like really, really, really displaying the horrors of war.
Yeah. How they're just firing in the direction, the general vicinity of enemies. And hoping to hit them and not really caring about anything else. Just,
it's
so raw somehow.
and then also the fact, that I'm no expert, but it was, to my knowledge, very realistic.
Yeah,
like in how all the movements, all the call outs and everything.
Yeah.
Just adds to that feeling like, shit, this is kind of real,
Yeah.
So good.
Then on top of that, having Lee going kind of numb.
Yeah,
Joel being this kind of
she doesn't even go numb. She finally loses it. She starts crying outside of the walls. Panicking.
Yeah. And for one moment, I was like, did she get shot? Is she hurt? Is that what's happening? But no, it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, she finally snaps. And that's kind of when Jesse then becomes like... Because she's like... Yeah, the soldiers have to like pull her back because he's standing in the way, the bullets.
Yeah.
And then finally, as they're doing their final stand towards the last two Secret Service guys... She just steps into the corridor as they start firing, and Lee jumps in front of her.
Like we can understand why she does it, because she's seen Lee do it like 3 times now. When she's like just casually, kind of hurriedly walking across the hall from one wall to the other just to like get a shot.
Yeah, but not like that. Not while they're firing. But she doesn't
stop.
I know. Yeah.
Jessie stops because she's still learning this whole thing, and her. The few times Lee taught her anything, she told her to like, take your time, but not too much time. But she's never gotten into doing it in the motion.
Yeah.
Which this is obviously requiring.
Yeah.
And because of that.
Then, Lee has... Yeah, it's a heroic sacrifice, in terms of screenwriting. That's what it is. She grew numb to it all, but then she found to the point where she doesn't care anymore. She's just photographing it because that's what she's supposed to do. She doesn't even, like you said, the discussion on the couch. There's not even a point to it, really. Nobody cares. She tried to warn everyone, didn't work. No. And I mean, she's palling around with Joel, who obviously is doing it for the rush.
Yes.
He likes the fighting.
Crazy.
He also, to some extent, realizes it's kind of real when they start having real losses. When Sammy gets killed. But yeah, then she has something to kind of care for, which is Jesse. Because she sees herself. She doesn't want Jesse to be like her. So she jumps in front of the bullets and dies.
And as they've talked about, would you take my picture if I got shot?
She does.
She
Jesse asks Lee that.
Yeah, but it's kind of like a, should I guess, is her question. Like, in that moment, what should I care? What would you care about?
Yeah.
Would you care about taking the picture, or would you care about the person actually falling?
Yeah, and she takes the picture. And literally walks away. Almost... I thought she wasn't even going to look, but at least she looks back before she walks into the room. Where a
few steps too far before she looks back, in my opinion.
Yeah. But this is to show, like, that's what war does to you.
Yeah. And also, I mean, you kind of, I'm assuming when on the way out they kind of stopped.
Yeah, but that would defeat the purpose then.
In the heat of the moment, you just gotta move on.
Yeah.
Get that picture. Get the money shot.
Yeah, it's showing what what war does to you psychologically. Yeah. Just want to quickly throw in a recommendation. There's like a short. No, it's not even that short. Sorry. There's a documentary.
40 minutes long?
No, it's an hour and 18 minutes. Oh, a documentary from 2011 called "Beer is Cheaper Than Therapy." I just thought about it because that's people dealing with PTSD.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, really good documentary. Anyway, sorry. Back to then, the very, very end of the movie. The soldiers drag the president from under a desk. Joel says stop because they're just gonna shoot him. They're not there to like negotiate or have him thrown in prison. No, they're there to kill him. Like, this is it. Which also tells me like this has probably been going for a while. And I want to ask, before we get to the very end, because they are now, like, they weren't on anyone's side before, but because we're seeing the journalists, but because they're now following the Western Front into the White House, do you feel like the movie is choosing a side there? So a little bit, maybe.
I don't think the movie's choosing his side. Joel is definitely choosing his side, though.
Yeah, and that's my next question, because the very end of the movie, he says stop before they shoot him.
Yes.
He wants his quote. He wants to interview the president, and he says a quote, just a quote. And the president just says, "Please don't let them kill me or shoot me or whatever."
Yeah.
And he says, That'll do. And then they shoot him. And he seems fine with it.
Yeah.
And then the soldiers who just shot the president of the United States of America,
Of the Americas.
yeah, look straight into the camera after he says, "That'll do," and they shoot him in the chest.
Yeah.
Is Alex Garland actually sending some sort of message there?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
Because I just think that's the heat of the moment, kind of like. I mean, if Joel and Jesse would have protested in any ways right then and there, they would have been shot as well.
Sure.
And honestly, at that moment, sure, they might be kind of high on the adrenaline. They might kind of like ride the same wave as these soldiers. Just want the end, because it ends the war most likely.
Yeah. Yes.
Which will be good for them in general, even though they're war photographers by now.
I think at this point they don't want to be anymore. Maybe
exactly,
Jesse,
they
but
want
not
this to
not
end.
Joel, and Lee's dead, obviously.
Yeah, they want this to end. This is cathartic to them, because they knew that before they got there, they knew the war would end with him being killed or captured.
Mm.
So when that was told, they're like, okay, whatever, kill him. We don't care. We're not going to take a stand on that.
Okay.
So I don't think they're making a choice, really. I think they're just going
accepting
with it.
what's happening.
Yeah. Because there's no point in fighting it at that point.
No, and I wouldn't want him to like, no, we shouldn't do this, because that would be the same thing as just saying, yeah, kill him. Because that's taking a stance.
Exactly. That would be taking a stance. Here, they're just more or less bystanders.
Yeah.
And even though that is technically taking a stand, it's not actively taking a stand.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like I said, accepting what is happening.
Yeah. Which is a way to protect yourself in this scenario.
Yeah. And the movie literally ends there.
Yeah.
It just cuts to black and it says Civil War, and then the credits are rolling over a slowly what's it called? Developing a photograph that Jesse takes of the soldiers posing in front of the dead president, which is just
it looks like, that when you shot your first deer, they're like,
yeah.
Or like a Fisher photo.
Yeah. Once again showing like, the indifference of towards human life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, yeah.
I've done the mistake of scrolling through reviews.
On Letterboxd?
Yes, a little bit Letterboxd, but I did check out some of the IMDb as well. IMDb is better because they all start off going like actually knowing what they want to say.
But IMDb are talking about professional critics, the Metascore
No,
critics?
user.
Oh, okay.
It's professional is professional. I'm more interested in hearing what the people think.
Okay. I prefer.
No, but it's interesting to see how people talk about it then, because I didn't get the Twitter discussion since I'm not on Twitter.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and we can just quickly then, because I think we're going to try and wrap this up. Well, we'll wrap it up. You usually say that it's 20 minutes, but...
Well, yeah. That's our wrap-up, 20-minute long.
I hadn't checked this out before, but I'm glad it's... At least when it comes to professional critics, it's gotten a pretty good score. It has a 75 Metascore, which is usually what they give, like, what I would call, like, great 10 out of 10 movies.
Yeah.
But on Letterboxd, it has an average of 3.7, a little bit lower there.
That's a bit low.
Yeah, the first one that pops up, it says, review from friends. Yeah, I wish. It's Jake from Man Carrying Thing. Great YouTube channel. You should check it out if you haven't. You give it a 4.5. Now, it's a long one, so I'm not gonna... But he brings up something I mentioned earlier, and something I want to talk about a little bit more. I'm impressed by the hand-wringing over this movie's supposed quote-unquote spinelessness and emptiness. So many reviews complain that this isn't the movie they had hoped for or expected to see. It's not what I expected either. Some of this misperception can be blamed on the marketing, which framed the movie as some kind of political cultural explosion. I don't know.
A little bit.
I guess maybe more if you are American. For me, I didn't really feel like that. Except for the guy with colored hair who was sniping, I was like, is that some sort of like SJW woke guy who's firing on the conservatives? I don't know.
I think because of the like lack of context when you see the trailer, my first assumption was, oh, this is a commentary on was it January 6th, for example?
Okay, yeah.
It just brought to mind all of the quite recent internal conflicts in America, that it would be based on that somehow.
Sure.
Or commenting on that.
But
because
also,
of the lack of context.
Because of the lack of context, do you think depending on which side of the political spectrum you're on, you might, attach your own thoughts and opinions to it?
Obviously.
So you think maybe that's deliberately then obtuse in the trailer? Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Frame the movie as some sort of political/cultural explosion. A24 posting a Civil War map depicting the Western forces. That must have been the map I saw. Independent republics, etc. was meant only to stir up controversy and debate, toying with our expectations. The movie is deliberately vague, giving even less information about the conflict than the map does. I think that's entirely to its benefit. Exactly. Civil War is about the aesthetication of war violence. The photojournalists, far from being portrayed as the liberals' ideal, are self-interest assholes. Yeah, well, I wouldn't say asshole. Well, no, Joel is definitely an asshole.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's the.
Oh, we haven't even talked about. There's this one minute little detail about Joel.
Oh,
kind of need to mention.
Go ahead.
But go ahead.
No, you.
Oh?
Yeah.
Well, the whole reason why he kind of allowed Jesse to come along is because he's a bit.
He hit on her. Yeah.
Yeah. At first, before we know her age, I felt like that would be pervy. But then technically she's 23, so it's fine.
Hey, man.
She does look young, though.
As long as it's legal.
Yeah. But even legal, it's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, I know.
She's a bit too young for you.
We don't know how old he is.
No, but they're over.
In his 40s.
Exactly. They're
early 40s.
They gotta be early 40s, at least.
People gleefully capturing the carnage with one interest only, capturing the perfect image. Yeah. But I would say that Alex Garland respects the characters, at least Lee, more than that, because he gives her that great quote. Like, I thought I was sending a warning, guess it didn't work.
Yeah.
Civil War will almost certainly play better with non-American audiences, or to Americans a decade from now, who are too mired in the current political moment. As American filmmakers have for decades played with broader themes of war on the stages of other nations' conflicts. He brings up Apocalypse Now. This really made me think of Apocalypse Now. Yeah. Turning Vietnam into a Joseph Conrad myth, blah, blah, blah. He's taking the iconography of America and turning it introspectively into a study on how we capture images and create myths. Yeah. That's what the whole thing is about. And like he said, yeah, maybe it is too close to home for some Americans, but it's easier to us than to detach from it. But I mean,
yeah, but maybe that was also a little bit of the point, that it is supposed to hit too close to home.
Yeah, he's trying to shake it like, listen, goddammit, stop talking about we're going to have a second Civil War, because this is what's going to happen if
you don't want that.
You don't want that. This is what's going to happen. Yeah. So yeah, great review. You can read the whole thing. It's on Letterboxd. But then right under that, we have Matt Lynch. I follow him because I think he's some sort of critic. Gave it, I don't know. I recognize the name. I follow him for some reason. And he gave it a 1 star. Remorselessly stupid, utterly empty. And then utterly empty is a link to something? Oh, yeah. His full review here. He wrote for In Review Online.
Okay.
I'm not going to read the whole thing because that's a proper long review. But yeah. He means it's remorselessly stupid and utterly empty. How can you watch this and say that?
I don't know.
Then you must have thought like, oh, this is obviously going to comment on the current political set. But no, it's not.
No.
Anyway. Anything else? Any like... I hear popular reviews. That's what I wanted. More.
Yeah, well, popular reviews are, kind of dumb, usually.
Yeah, but also, that's, depending on who you follow, you do get some, like, actual critics. Like David Ehrlich. Good reviewer. 2.5 stars. I feel like all of Alex Garland's films could be called Annihilation. He comes threateningly close to saying something, anything, about the various ways Americans process and or distance ourselves from the violent realities that seem foreign to us, but it never really gets there. Appreciated its audacity to a point, and appreciated its cast throughout, but such a stick-in-the-eye provocation needs to be a hell of a lot sharper in order to make people look at things differently. Once again, how could it be any more sharp than it is? What do they want? Like how if this is supposed to deter you from saying, like, yeah, we should have a civil war, fuck Biden or whatever, or fuck Trump.
Yeah.
It's more the anti-Biden people who want a war. Sorry, it's just true.
That's just how it is. Yeah, we know that.
Yeah.
Look at January 6th.
Yeah, how more, like, poignant can this get? Like, what could they actually do other than just stare into the camera and say, "Do not wage war, it is bad."
Some people though are hating that seems to be what he's trying to say, and it's just like, oh, it's just dumb. Someone gave it a 2-star. The first sentence is kind of funny. It's very funny to so obviously think you're making Come and See or Apocalypse Now for post-January 6th America, instead end up with JCPenney has fallen. It's a funny way of phrasing it.
Yeah, sure.
But he continues to, like, Garland might have had something here if we could have dropped the solemn, sanctimonious, centric, anti-war art filmmaker pretension, moral hand-wringing. We get it. War is ugly no matter which side is doing it.
But what should it have been then?
Exactly. Like, what else should it have been?
Should it have been a pro-war movie?
I don't know.
Then it would just say, oh, it's glorifying war. Like, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the person in question just wanted something different, I guess. Yeah, even though this is technically different.
Like David
I've never seen it like this.
Yeah, it needs to be a hell of a lot sharper in order to make people look at things differently. Like, what does he mean by sharper?
I don't know.
It's not enough that you see fighting, literally, like, war being waged in New York City, in Washington, D.C., like, helicopters and planes flying through, they're bombing the White House. Like, what more of a warning do you need?
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm sorry. Then we get these stupid reviews, which I just... 2 stars.
Yeah.
You're telling me the very best place for the President of the United States to hide was under the Oval Office desk. Hollow movie. That's not a review, first of all. I don't know.
Here, once again, Zoe Rose Bryant with her fucking comments. At least she seems to like them when she gave it 4 out of 5. I can forgive occasionally muddled messaging. What is muddled? What is muddled? Whatever.
Nothing.
Yeah, I can forgive occasionally muddled messaging for Kirsten Dunst giving a masterclass in mothering and Wagner Moura wearing a cunty earring. That's Joel, the actor for Joel.
Yeah. This was a good one. 4 stars. A 2-hour anxiety-inducing trip. A journey through America seen through the eyes of photojournalists capturing a relentless civil war. Alex Garland manages to immerse you in this panic-driven setting with stunning shots, torturous sequences, and high production value, while begging you to question the possibilities of a civil war.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Good job.
Yeah. Do you think, like, when they talk about the message being muddled and, that it's not taking a stance...
I think it's because people have their own opinions about what this should have been, what side they wanted him to represent. But he's not representing a side. Well, that's why it's muddled to them.
Part of that, but also, do you think, like, a scene like the scene with Jesse Plemons, where it's obvious like he's not, well, he might have like a stake in the game, so to speak, but he's obviously like he's just a racist.
Yeah.
Like he's America. That means I'm gonna kill these two yellow guys.
He's taking this situation. He's
As an
taking advantage of the situation to do what he would have wanted to do otherwise. But now he's like, well, no one's gonna judge me now. I just shot non-Americans.
Yeah. But that's just to show the madness of war, like how people would actually take advantage of that just to kill. Yeah, like you mentioned when we were on the train, like some people they just kill.
Yeah, they don't care who gets involved. They don't care what side you're on. They're just gonna shoot to shoot.
Yeah, definitely that happens, but hopefully that's a minority of the ones who are involved in the conflict.
Obviously.
So that's not muddled. That's just a reality.
Is showcasing that specifically.
Yeah.
In a very good way. So
yeah, and I like a lot of people mentioned Apocalypse Now. Because I thought of Apocalypse Now as well. Yeah.
I've seen it, but I don't remember anything.
I wish I would have mentioned it before I read it, because then I could say, yes, I actually thought of it before I read it. But I did actually think about it before. Sure. Because it is really...
Sure.
They travel from kind of the outskirts of the conflict, New York.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really the outskirts, but you know what I mean. Yeah, and they go into the heartland, literally into the heart of America, yes. Washington, D.C., and it gets crazier and crazier the farther they go, until they're they're literally in hell in the end. And that is Apocalypse Now. It's a Man Carrying Thing mentioned. Like it is, it's they've taken this Joseph Conrad myth, but placed it into the Vietnam War to kind of show the hell that is war. That's what that movie is all about, and like how crazy it goes. I mean, that's another thing. There's a scene in that movie where they just at night go into like a battle. And they stop because it's too dangerous to pass right now. They're on a boat. That's the whole movie. They're on a boat.
Yeah.
And there's what's going on? Or who's fighting who? Like I don't know anymore. We're just firing on the guys on the other side, and they have just been firing at each other for weeks. They're stuck like in a loop. They won't stop because they don't have any orders. So we're just gonna shoot at the guys on the other side. That's kind of like the scene with the snipers in the Winter Wonderland scene. Like they don't know. They just keep firing at what they suppose is the enemy.
Is Winter Wonderland the third or like second, I guess, incident on the road? Like first we start in New York.
Station. No,
then it's the gas station.
Then it's the guys fighting in the apartment complex.
Ah, right. And then it's the Winter Wonderland.
Then it's the Winter Wonderland. And then it's Jesse Plemons.
I just started making like a connection that if it's 9 instances of things happening, is it
the 9 pillars of
is
hell?
The 9 circles of hell,
and
Washington D.C. is
maybe that would be super pretentious though. I think he is. Alex Garland can be very pretentious. We saw that in Men.
Yes,
but I think he's trying to avoid that in this. This is very unpretentious, I would say. But I mean,
I think that was just me trying to like read more into it.
If you want to overanalyze it, I'm sure some of it is in there.
I don't think it's 9 instances though, so it doesn't really make sense. I'm trying to count them. I don't think we're in 9, so
yeah.
But they do because you said it's the road to hell. It gets progressively worse the closer they get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a review. It's a 3.5, so a good review. But it's from the other side here, because they say, the good news is that Civil War is not the heavy-handed right versus left eye-roller that the trailers might have made it seem like. Yeah. Because that would have been, if it was just like, this is a leftist movie, we gotta stop the dangerous right, that would have been dangerous. Because then the movie would have stirred up actual, conflict. Actually, Garland has almost completely abstained from political specifics and instead made a, hey, someone else doing, Heart of Darkness type road trip film through the lens of war photographers as they travel from New York to D.C. in a war-torn America. I love the idea. I love this idea and the conversation about the impact of an image, desensitization to what lengths characters are going to capture these moments and why. We see trauma and obsession cascade through generations of journalists, with the most harrowing moments born from relationship between Kirsten Dunst and Caliee Spaeny.
Yeah. Peter de Bruges wrote for Variety, a literal shock to the system. Civil War is designed to be divisive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey,
Perfect.
I won't read the whole thing, but it was just a funny opening. 2.5 stars. Craziest Pokemon Snap sequel I've ever seen. Pokemon Snap was the game where you literally just walked around, took pictures of Pokemon. You never battled or anything. Yeah, it's a terrible game.
Fun.
People bought it because it was Nintendo 64. Anyway.
Pokemon.
I think we're going to wrap it up there.
Yes.
Or was there any more reviews you wanted to read? So you're going to get a feel of what people are saying.
It's just the same wording in different, the same thing but in different wordings.
Yeah.
Matthew Monagle for the playlist. Civil War inflames our discomfort by bringing the conflict to our own backyard.
Yeah.
Some people are actually understanding this.
Yes. Thank you.
And I'm glad that happens. I understand that some might not get the idea of this, get the point, so to speak, and want to have a conflict within it to be able to put their own beliefs into it.
Yeah.
Or want their own beliefs to be the main protagonist, I guess. But that's not the point of this movie.
No.
The point of this movie is for you to just see it raw, no matter your stance on whatever the situation might be.
Then I wanna end this with a question. I don't know if that's a dumb thing, but this whole thing with that putting it in America in an election year, is that almost like goading people then to try to connect their opinions to it? Would it be easier to maybe see what this is actually about? You know, the inhumanity of war. Would it have been easier maybe if it was set in another country?
No, because people wouldn't have. First of all, they wouldn't have seen the inhumanity of war.
No,
they wouldn't have understood that. They would have just,
then it's just another
country.
Movie.
It's just another movie.
Yeah,
putting it in their own home, bringing it to their own backyard is making them think about it. Then on top of that, making them maybe question their opinions on certain political views.
Yeah.
Because then they might question so my political view of this situation could lead to this. My political actions might actually lead to this.
Yeah.
To civil war.
That's putting words in Alex Garland's mouth, but that's what he intended, I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think he wanted. He wanted people to start thinking about it.
Yeah.
Not just what it looks like when it's close by, but also what your political view might actually contribute to.
Yeah.
And how you portray your political view, and how, because they're so very proud of their political views in America.
Yeah, I know.
And, to a fault sometimes, obviously.
Yeah.
Point in case being Civil War.
Yeah. Point in case being, the
January
protest
6th.
in 2020 and January 6th. Was it 23, 22?
I don't remember which
which
year.
Was. Yeah, okay.
So I think that's... no, I don't think he could have done this any other way. It needed to be this. It needs to start the discussion from all ends of the spectrum, of the political spectrum.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree.
Or anything. And I think he nailed it.
Yeah. And I also want to say, like it's been a while since we had a good war movie like this. A good anti-war movie. When was the last time we had a war movie?
Not to do what we usually do, but I feel like Disney tried with the Civil War and some of the Avengers movies, but no, it's too fantasized. It doesn't work. You need to make it gritty and dark and horrible, really, for it to make sense and work. But no, I don't think we've had a war movie in a while.
No, well, now I'm thinking about it. No, we have had a bunch of them, but those are about specific situations. I mean, we had, of course, Dunkirk in 2017.
Yeah, but that's historical as well.
Yeah, that's true. Something Hacksaw Ridge 2016, American Sniper 2014.
Sure, but then again, we're not too much in the heat of the moment, are we? It's not too much battle in that one, is it? It's more of the post-traumatic
Yes. It's not.
So it doesn't hit as close to home in the same sense then.
Yeah.
not
Lone Survivor, which I know a lot of people don't like, and I know because they just exaggerate everything. Yeah, but it's still as a movie, it's good.
Yeah. Aren't movies supposed to exaggerate things as well?
Yeah, I know. They also don't like the guy because he exaggerated a bunch of things about his real life experience. Sure. But there is one movie though, and I would say like a little underappreciated. I would say this is Civil War is the best war movie or anti-war movie we've had since Fury. Fury is a damn good movie that people slept on.
Which one's Fury?
Exactly. It's the tank movie with
yes.
Brad Pitt and Logan Lerman.
I never watched that one.
Exactly. Nobody did because it was David Ayer who made it was like, because war movies weren't really a thing anymore, and he made like an old school war movie.
Yeah, that's also a bit of a period piece though, because it takes place in 45.
Yeah, it's Second World War, World War II.
Yeah.
But that is a really, really good movie. Firstly, one that respects soldiers,
yes,
but also shows the horrors of war.
Yes,
I mean, literally.
I saw you pulled up the opening scenes on my TV when you first time you saw it on TV.
Yeah, because it's a great.
To try out the systems.
It's a great 4K shot with all the lighting and everything. Yeah. You should watch that movie. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's
my cat is telling us that we should wrap this up.
Okay.
By the way.
Okay.
He's getting very clingy.
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll end this then. So we had that question, but we'll end with this question. What did you think of Civil War? Do you think it was spineless? Didn't choose a side? Or did you get it?
Yeah.
Leave your comments down below. Also want to say thank you so much for listening. If you're here at the end, if you liked it,
Patreon.
Yeah, if you liked it, give us a thumbs up or a star, whatever, on whatever platform you're listening to this. And if you want to support us even more, check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene, where we have extra episodes every week.
Yes.
Well, that's it. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you in the next episode, but until then, have a good one.
Bye.
The Spoiler Cast is part of Please Don't Make a Scene. It is produced and directed by Tobias Vedén and hosted by Tobias and Rebecca Vedén. Executive producer is Annika Vedén. I also want to give a huge shout out to all our patrons over on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. Mom, Dad, Christopher Belén, Daniel Gaiso, Mac and Mom, Laura Kinney, CK85.